All right. Good morning, Two Dude fans. Today, Two Dudes is boldly going to go where no man has gone before. We are going to
Space, the final frontier.
That's right. This is a Two Dudes review of the new CBS TV show Picard. Surprise. Most people don't know that I am a Trekkie as much as I'm a fan of Star Wars. I'm not going to lie. I've actually attended a few Star Trek conferences over the years. My Star Trek influences run deep. You see, my father and Uncle Jimmy were big fans of the Star Trek series, the original series. We grew up, late 70s, early 80s. So a lot of the movies were out then. Wrath of Khan, Voyage Home. Uh, I always thought Khan's the best, Voyage Home next, followed by The Undiscovered Country, and the other ones we really don't talk about. I grew up on The Next Generation. I used to watch it every night before bed. Again, I attended a few Star Trek conventions in my life. I wouldn't say I'm like a complete Trekkie, but I mean I've dabbled. So a lot of people didn't realize that about me. Some people even said like, "Oh, that's not true. There's no way you're a Trekkie. You're that much into Star Wars." And I'm like, "Let me check." And tricorder readings say it's true. So let's dive into the show. So Picard appeared on CBS All Access, which is the one downside of the show. You have to actually download and buy the CBS package, but it's not bad. It's like buying Netflix, $5-10 a month. At this point, between Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, the CBS All Access, and all the other subscriptions we have, you're dropping $100 a month on just entertainment. It's one of the reasons why they will go through the whole cut the cord thing. Another topic. But Picard picks up roughly 14 years after the end of the last Star Trek The Next Generation movie, Nemesis. We meet now retired Admiral Picard on his vineyard in France. As we know, his family owned a vineyard in France. And we find out that he has separated from Starfleet. The series starts off with him dreaming about playing poker on the Enterprise D, which, by the way, the Enterprise D is actually my favorite ship in the Star Trek galaxy. So we see him playing poker with Data in 10 Forward. Kind of similar to how the show ended. The last episode of The Next Generation, All Good Things, ended with Captain Picard finally playing poker with the crew at night. So kind of picked up where it left off, a little bit of like a pass of the torch type deal. But from there, we discover that Picard has left Starfleet, and it wasn't on good terms. The Romulan home planet Remus was being affected by a supernova, which plays into the events of the J.J. Abrams Star Trek spin-offs from a few years ago. So that's the catalyst to send the Romulans back in time to change the timeline, was this supernova. And Picard was the admiral that was leading the rescue mission in order to help the Romulans. There was some type of terrorist attack on the Utopia shipyards in Mars, which, as you know, is where most of the Federation's vessels are built. The attack left about 100,000 Federation citizens dead, and the Federation reneged on its agreement to help the Romulans. In protest, Picard resigned his commission and is now living in the chateau in France. You see him; he's much angrier. He's a little bitter. You've seen some good Easter eggs in the beginning. Again, Data, the Enterprise D. He has a pit bull named Number One, who's a rescue dog, by the way. Side note of the story, he actually is a rescue dog. And then we meet a young lady who is dining with her boyfriend, talking about being accepted into college. And some people transport in, and kind of Jason Bourne pops out. I don't want to do too much spoiler alert, but it's going down the road of that she is an android and an offspring of Data. There's a lot of references to the episode Measure of a Man, which was a Next Generation episode. One of my favorite, where Data is ordered by Starfleet to be disassembled, but he says he is his own being, and a trial ensues to see if Data is a person or property of Starfleet. Obviously, Data wins. So we meet this young lady who now we believe to be Data's offspring, and she's in trouble, and she goes in and enlists Picard to help. And Picard, always being there, saddles up, sets his phaser on stun, and hits the road. So episode 1 out of the way. We know that Picard's back on the hunt. Probably the biggest Easter egg in the entire episode was Picard goes to Starfleet Academy, to the Starfleet Museum, and visits his archive. Numerous little hints around the archive as to Picard, the Next Generation. You see a model of the Stargazer, Picard's first command. You see a model of the Enterprise E. You see a model of his captain's yacht off the Enterprise E. I think my favorite, and the one that everyone's talking about, there's an episode entitled Captain Picard Day, and it's where every year on the ship they have a holiday for the children entitled Captain Picard Day. During the episode, you see that he's a little flustered the whole time, but when you go to the archive, you see he's kept the banner that the children had made for him. So it shows a little bit of, who he is as a character, keeping a banner that children gave to him, decades earlier. So episode 2 will be premiering next week, or this week now at this point. And so far, I'm a fan. I've seen some things online. Some people are talking about it. It started off slow. It wasn't what they thought it would be. They're saying this is a different type of Star Trek show, and I'm enjoying it. I think they've done a pretty good job with the connecting it back to the Next Generation. So that's my take on Star Trek Picard. I'm looking forward to episode 2, and I think that's it. If anybody has any questions or anything like... Excuse me one second. Yes, Captain. Okay. Kirk out. I'm needed on the bridge. See you later, 2 Dude fans. Okay, so everyone's like, dude, you didn't end the video with live long and prosper. Okay, I'll tell you what, I can't do it. My fingers don't work that way. I can't do it. But neither could Captain Kirk, all right? That's right, William Shatner can't do it, has to tape his fingers. I'm with you, Captain.